What's up everyone, and welcome back to a brand new what if scenario. This one is one that I've seen suggested a bunch of times, and it's something that could have actually happened, and I'm not really sure why it didn't. Well, there were a few reasons, but it is something that could have been realistic. The title might sound a little bit vague, but mainly the idea of this what if is if Piccolo and Kami fused in the future. We saw how helpful it was when Kami fused with Piccolo in the main timeline, so if that happened in the future, how would that actually work out and how much would that benefit the team fighting the androids? Would this actually be enough to save the Earth? Well, that's what I'm here making this video for. Let's get into it. So this scenario obviously takes place in the future timeline, and a lot of it starts out pretty much the same. Goku gets the heart virus and dies, and then eventually the androids begin attacking. The androids are able to wipe out a bunch of people, and eventually the Dragon Team has to take notice, and tries to fight them off. But as we know, the androids were way too powerful for anyone to face, especially at that point in time. Even future Gohan and future Trunks, once they were Super Saiyans, had difficulties fighting the androids, and they were pretty strong in comparison to everyone at this point in time. But let's rewind here, before everyone ends up dying, and we're going to start at the point where the Dragon Team has their final battle with the androids. Well, this isn't their final battle anymore, they actually have some hope this time. The thing is though, we don't really know how this final battle went down. In anime filler we saw some shots of everyone dying, and in the manga for Dragon Ball Super we had this bonus chapter which explains why the Pilaf gang is young again. And we briefly see the Dragon Team facing the androids, so this is where we'll start off. During the fight, the Dragon Team realizes that there's no way that they're going to be able to fight the androids head on, and if they try to fight for any longer, they will face death for sure. All seems hopeless, until Piccolo gets an idea. He remembers some things that he heard from Namek, and about Namekian fusion. Fusing with Nail made him stronger, and he also knows that if he were to refuse with Kami, then he would gain immense strength as well. Potentially much more than he did when he fused with Nail. So maybe, if he were to go see Kami and fuse with him, they might actually have a shot against the androids. He obviously doesn't know for sure, but the risk is worth taking. Right now, they need to escape. He communicates with the team telling them that they need to get out of there as quickly as possible, and they need to find some way out. Luckily, Tien and Krillin are there, and they have a technique just for this. The androids are pretty caught off guard and they're cocky, they're confident that they've won this battle. So this leaves them opening for a surprise attack. 2 solar flares. Even with all their data on everyone, there's no way they're able to expect this, given how overconfident they usually get in battle. And the 2 solar flares actually work, and it gives the team an opportunity to escape. Piccolo gets everyone to follow him, and they're gonna head to the lookout. And while they're up there, they can even see if they can find the Dragon Balls and use them for some wish. Unfortunately though, on their way to the lookout, they notice that the sky gets dark, meaning that someone is using the Dragon Balls right now. They don't know who got the Dragon Balls and what they wish for, but it's the Pilaf gang and they wish for their youth, which wasn't really a wise wish because now they're babies. That's besides the point though. The Dragon Balls weren't even a main part of Piccolo's plan, but it kinda does suck that they don't have any access to them anymore. They head towards the lookout and Kami greets everyone, realizing that they're here for a safe haven, but secretly he knows why Piccolo's here. Piccolo hasn't told anyone yet, but he plans to merge with Kami in order to become a new Namekian stronger than ever. Under normal circumstances, Kami and Piccolo might have not jumped at this opportunity, but given what's happening and how there's really no hope against the androids, this does seem like a good option. Sadly, it means the Dragon Balls won't be of use anymore. But given the way things were going, that probably would have happened anyways if they kept fighting the androids and Piccolo ended up dying. Plus, they'd have to wait a year to use them anyways, which is the kind of time they don't really have. Kami accepts this from Piccolo, confirming that he's absolutely sure that he wants to do this because there's no going back. Piccolo is set on this, so Kami goes along, and everyone watches on as Kami merges with Piccolo. The Guardian of Earth begins to disappear as Piccolo's power soars. The essence of Kami is merged within Piccolo, and after the fusion is completed, only one figure is standing there. It looks like Piccolo from the outside, but it's a completely changed person. A nameless Super Namekian. Someone who is neither Kami nor Piccolo. The power of this new being is utterly insane. Even Vegeta, who has Super Saiyan and thought he was the strongest, is shocked to see the power of this new Namekian. Could this power actually be enough to defeat the androids? Well, it's not really that clear cut. In the main timeline, we could see that Piccolo, after merging with Kami, was enough to fight 17 on par. However, there's a few things to consider here. For one, we know that in the future timeline, androids 17 and 18 are weaker than their present counterparts. By how much, we don't know, but all we know is that they're not as strong. Not only that, but Piccolo would most likely be weaker here too. The Dragon Team most likely didn't get the same training during the 3 years before the androids arrived, since they didn't know that they needed to train for anything, so Piccolo's most likely a little bit weaker here too. That would mean both Piccolo and 17 would most likely still be on par in terms of power, but another thing that they have to consider is that they know the androids have infinite stamina by this point. So even though Piccolo's power might match 17 and be above 18, there's still the issue regarding the fact that the androids have infinite stamina. This power is great to have, but Piccolo's kinda concerned. Even if it can match the androids, can it outlast them? Being on par with the androids isn't good enough. They need to be far above them. So what can they do now? Well, Popo's still there on the lookout, and he has an idea that might help the group. The Room of Spirit and Time, which Goku used as a kid. A room in which 1 year of training could be done within 1 day. Plus, they'll be safe in there since the androids won't be able to get to the lookout. It's much better than sitting around and twiddling their thumbs on the lookout or trying to train elsewhere on the ground, where it would take much more time to get above the androids in terms of strength. So Piccolo can go in there and try to train himself, and maybe even with another person. There's a misconception that I've seen with the Room of Spirit and Time where people think that only 2 people can go in the room at once. However, that's not true. We've seen multiple people in there before. Specifically in the Buu Saga, this can be seen. So the room can fit more than 2 people. The downside to it is that it only has enough food to last 2 people an entire year. But that's not actually a problem. Piccolo was considering who to bring in with him. Either Vegeta, who is the strongest at this point besides Piccolo, or he could bring in Gohan, his student who has a lot of potential. But he doesn't need to decide between the 2 of them, because the food thing isn't an issue. Piccolo doesn't need to eat, he just needs water. So as long as they bring a little bit of extra water in there, well, Piccolo could bring both Vegeta and Gohan in and train both of them at once. And if Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha want to train too, they can go in later, and they could figure that out on their own. But right now, Piccolo's focused on training himself to defeat the androids, and this extra strength means that Vegeta and Gohan will get some help as well. Gohan accepts the idea instantly, while Vegeta takes a little bit of convincing, but ultimately he's fine with it and goes in with the 2 of them. If he doesn't swallow his pride and try to train with Piccolo, then Earth will be doomed and the Saiyan race will die out with him. Plus it's an opportunity for him to get stronger, so he's not really going to turn it down. So with that settled, the 3 of them head in and begin training. There are a few goals from this training that everyone hopes to accomplish. For one, everyone wants to obviously get stronger, especially Piccolo. Another goal is that Vegeta wants to see if he could surpass Super Saiyan somehow, because he feels like that might be possible. And number 3, they need to try and get Gohan to access Super Saiyan as well. Both Piccolo and Vegeta recognize the potential in Gohan, and maybe they can get him to access the same form that Vegeta has. And even if they can't accomplish the latter 2 goals, they'll definitely be able to at least get stronger. The training starts and it's actually pretty successful. You have 3 strong fighters in there at once, especially now that Piccolo has merged with Kami and he's so powerful that it helps. So all 3 of them see massive gains in power. Vegeta is trying to close the gap between him and Piccolo, while Gohan's focused on trying to access Super Saiyan. After some months pass, they're able to get Gohan to tap into Super Saiyan, but not much more past that. He's not going to get Super Saiyan grade 4 like normal, but he does get Super Saiyan grade 1, which is a good start. As for Vegeta though, he is able to eventually access grade 2, and he knows this isn't the limit of the form, but grade 2 is good enough for now. He dubs it as Super Vegeta, thinking this is something that's exclusive to him for the moment. Piccolo's not going to get any new forms obviously, but he gets a lot stronger due to the training. After the year passes, the gap between Vegeta and Piccolo closes somewhat, and they're very close to each other in terms of strength. It's hard to say who would be the strongest at this point, since Piccolo started out at a much higher level, while Vegeta would get the benefit of Zenkais and the boost from the new form, but they are relatively close. Gohan is catching up too, and he's the 3rd strongest of the group now that he has Super Saiyan, which he didn't even know he had it in him to access. The group exits the Room of Spirit and Time, and the rest of the Dragon Team and Mr. Popo are shocked to see how strong everyone's gotten. Not only is Piccolo a lot stronger, but Gohan's a Super Saiyan now and Vegeta apparently has access to some new form above Super Saiyan, and the difference in strength is significant. This might actually be enough to defeat the androids, and while the rest of the team does want to train, they might not even need to. They feel confident that this could be enough, so they end up heading towards the androids and seeing how it would work out in practice. The androids are more wary of them escaping again, so if this doesn't work, then they're pretty much screwed. But they're pretty sure that this is enough to work. 17 and 18 are found in the city destroying everything, and eventually they encounter Piccolo, Vegeta, and Gohan, with the rest of the Dragon Team near them. They're surprised that they actually came back after they chickened out of the fight last time, and are curious to see why they're so ready to fight now. It seems that they're confident enough to take on the androids, but the androids don't believe that they're actually strong enough. While they're not going to be able to sense the power, the androids begin to see some noticeable physical differences. For one, they're surprised to see that Gohan now is a Super Saiyan, but if this is all the three of them accomplished, it won't be enough. Then they see Piccolo powering up too, feeling the earth shake below them as Piccolo bulks up, leaving a crater in his presence. Alongside him, Vegeta's also powering up into his Super Vegeta form, giving him a noticeable increase in muscle mass. The androids are beginning to get a bit worried, but they don't show it. They're confident enough that they could win this battle. They don't realize how wrong they are though, as Piccolo, Gohan, and Vegeta launch towards them. I would say that Gohan in Super Saiyan Grade 1 here has a noticeable increase in power, and he's probably strong enough to be on par with 17, if not a little bit above or below him. However, Piccolo and Vegeta are in a whole new realm of power. You guys saw in the original story how strong Vegeta got after a year of training with Trunks, and this time he's training with 2 people. He obviously knows not to use Super Saiyan Grade 3 either, even though he has tapped into it a bit. But Grade 2 is more than enough here and it's going to be worthwhile in battle. It turns out Gohan didn't even really need to join the fight because Piccolo and Vegeta alone, well, they take on the androids with no difficulty. Kind of a shame because Gohan learned some new techniques from Vegeta and Piccolo, but he can't really put them to use. The androids are shocked at how strong these three are, and now they visibly show their concern. They fight back more seriously, but in response, Piccolo and Vegeta power up further and show off their true power. 18 delivers a powerful kick to Vegeta's arm, but it does nothing, and Vegeta just sits there chuckling. He's getting bored of this battle, so with one short blast, he turns 18 into dust. 17 watches with anger and despair as he's facing Piccolo and Gohan, and Piccolo knows that they don't really need to draw this fight out any longer. With one powerful punch to 17's stomach, Piccolo's fist sends 17 flying into the air, unconscious, and nearly dead, as Piccolo launches a mouth beam that completely incinerates 17. The dust settles and the androids are nowhere to be seen. Piccolo's plan actually worked. They don't have Dragon Balls anymore, but the Earth is saved. Sadly, they weren't able to save Goku, since he died due to natural causes, but this is good enough. They were able to defend the Earth and get stronger. All the destruction is finally over. For now, the androids are gone. Cell will show up in the future, but that's actually pretty far off from this point in time. At this point in time, he wouldn't even be complete yet, so he's going to show up later on, but he's not really going to be that much of a threat. Especially since there's no time machine, so he's not even going to try to steal it, and because the androids are gone so he can't absorb them. But mainly, well, in terms of power, Imperfect Cell is going to be nothing to them. It's good that the Earth is saved though, so maybe they can go back to their normal lives. It's a shame Goku wasn't here to witness this though and see what happened. He would have loved to participate in this battle, as well as seeing his son become a Super Saiyan as well. At least he could watch from the afterlife. Proud to see that Earth is fine without him. With the androids gone, life can now return back to normal, with Piccolo and Vegeta being the strongest defenders of Earth. And while Gohan does return to his studying, he realizes how important training is now that Goku's gone, especially with Piccolo there trying to train him, since he is his teacher after all. So he'll continue doing that. And given all that has happened, I feel like it's safe to assume that society will go back to normal. So the 7-year time skip that happened between the Cell Saga and Buu Saga is probably going to happen like normal. Enough of Earth is left for everything to continue, and besides Goku, everyone from the Dragon Team is still alive. So the story will keep moving on, but we'll have to wait until the next part to see what happens in this future timeline. We'll end off here for now. So what did you guys think about this scenario, and what do you think will happen next time when we continue it? Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out and see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future videos I make, including future parts of this What If. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.